The city wakes before dawn to breaking news. Manila updates TV flashes, historic gas find in West Philippine Sea. Beijing responds. Filipinos scramble for radios and phones, the air crackling with excitement and fear. Shaky live footage shows ships circling a remote patch of blue water. On social media, hashtags explode. Mine PH gas find, mine West Sea hope. This is a turning point, one that will test the nation's courage. It began with a routine seismic survey in the West Philippine Sea. Deep below, sensors detected something extraordinary, a vast pocket of natural gas. Mapped with new 3D imaging, the field lies west of Palawan. Early estimates say it holds over 5 trillion cubic feet of gas, enough to power the country for decades. Across the Philippines, anticipation grows. This discovery is a symbol of hope. As news spreads, a wave of unity sweeps the country. Makati traders and Mindanao farmers, Tagalog-speaking students and Visayan fishermen, all find common ground in hope. For many, this is a rare moment when national dreams seem within reach. Radio hosts replay the president's speech. "This gas is the patrimony of the Filipino people," he declares, his words echoed by youth leaders and church groups. Memes and music videos celebrate the discovery. Gas ng Bayan, Para sa Bayan, becomes the new anthem, sung in schools and at rallies. For the overseas Filipino workers, often called the country's modern heroes, the news brings tears and prayers. Could this be the turning point that brings them home? Social media fills with stories of hope, sacrifice, and the longing for a better life in the motherland. Amid the excitement, there is a call for vigilance. Activists remind everyone that prosperity must be shared fairly. The gas wealth, they say, must lift the poor, fund schools, and heal hospitals, not just enrich the few. The sense of pride is real, but so is the promise to get it right. Economists speak of a coming boom. The government predicts tens of thousands of new jobs, from rig workers to engineers, cooks to accountants. Training centers spring up in coastal towns, offering courses in drilling, safety, and marine science. For the first time in years, young Filipinos see a future at home, not just abroad. The energy sector buzzes. Once dependent on imported coal and oil, the Philippines now dreams of clean, affordable power for every barangay. Factories hum with anticipation as investors weigh building new plants and infrastructure. The gas field could add billions to the national budget, funding roads, schools, and new hospitals. Foreign investors line up, from Tokyo to Houston, eager to partner with Filipino firms. The peso strengthens, shares surge on the Philippine Stock Exchange. Even skeptical business leaders begin to believe that this time, the promise is real. But with growth comes responsibility. The government announces strict local hiring rules and profit-sharing plans. A new era seems possible, one where natural wealth lifts the whole nation, not just a lucky few. Yet, beneath the optimism, hard questions arise. Extracting gas from deep water takes world-class technology and expertise. Drilling rigs cost billions and require years to build. Some worry about accidents, oil spills, blowouts, or the destruction of coral reefs. Environmentalists warn, this must not come at the cost of our oceans. Debate grows louder in Congress and on the streets. Business groups push for fast-track development, while scientists demand careful study and the use of clean technologies. Fisherfolk, whose communities line the coast, fear pollution and loss of livelihood. A coalition forms, calling for strict rules and full transparency. Foreign partners are needed, but choosing them stirs controversy. Should the Philippines rely on Western giants or build its own champions? Experts urge investment in local talent and technology transfer, so the country is not just a resource provider, but a leader. The government promises to listen. It sets up task forces on safety and environmental protection. The president vows, "We will extract this gift wisely, or not at all." The balance between progress and preservation has never felt more urgent. Hardly has the ink dried on the discovery when Beijing makes its move. Chinese officials declare that the gas field lies within their so-called 9-dash line, a sweeping claim rejected by most of the world. Warships appear near the site, shadowing Filipino survey vessels. State media warns of firm measures if Manila violates China's sovereignty. The tension is not new, but the stakes have never been higher. In 2016, an international tribunal in The Hague ruled that China's claims have no legal basis. Yet, Beijing refuses to accept the verdict, building artificial islands and deploying Coast Guard ships to enforce its will. Filipinos watch the standoff with a mix of anger and resolve. Memories of past confrontations, rammed fishing boats, water cannons, radio threats, are fresh. The new gas field, so full of promise, now becomes a flashpoint in a wider struggle for sovereignty. Diplomats work overtime. ASEAN neighbors offer words of support but warn of escalation. The world's attention turns to the West Philippine Sea, where a single misstep could trigger crisis. Faced with outside pressure, Manila does not back down. The government issues a formal protest at the United Nations, citing the 2016 tribunal victory. Troops and Coast Guard ships are sent to guard the gas field. "We will defend what is ours," the defense chief declares, his tone steely. Specialized units are trained to protect offshore platforms. Drones and radar systems are deployed. The Navy conducts joint patrols with allies, sending a clear message: the Philippines will not be bullied. At the same time, legal teams prepare cases for international courts, determined to win not just on the water, but in the eyes of the world. At home, the mood is resolute. Citizens rally at embassies and public squares, university students organize teach-ins on maritime law, even political rivals unite to support the government's stance. The unity seen during the discovery now turns into a defense of national dignity. The message is clear: the Philippines will develop its resources, but not at the expense of its sovereignty. The world watches, but the decision belongs to Filipinos alone. As tensions rise, the United States publicly reaffirms its support for Manila. Under the Mutual Defense Treaty, American ships and aircraft arrive for joint exercises. U.S. diplomats warn that any attack on Philippine vessels could trigger a response. Satellite images show increased Western presence in the region. Behind closed doors, American advisors share intelligence and technical expertise. High-level visits follow, with U.S. officials meeting Filipino leaders in Malacanang Palace. Offers of investment and security aid pour in, aimed at strengthening the country's energy and defense sectors. The alliance is not without controversy. Some Filipinos worry about becoming too dependent. Others recall a history of colonialism and seek a balanced, independent path. Yet, in the face of immediate threats, the partnership is welcomed by most as vital. The U.S. makes clear that it stands with the Philippines, not just with words, but with concrete actions. Joint patrols and training missions send a message: aggression will not go unanswered. The Philippine discovery triggers waves far beyond its shores. In Tokyo, Canberra, and across ASEAN, leaders issue statements of support. Japan offers investment in gas infrastructure. Australia sends maritime patrol aircraft and promises training for Filipino forces. Vietnam and Indonesia, with their own disputes with China, quietly cheer Manila's stand. ASEAN calls for calm and respect for international law. The European Union praises the rule of law at sea. Even India and South Korea express interest in energy partnerships. The world's energy companies take note, with some ready to invest if political risks can be managed. Yet not all reactions are supportive. Beijing warns of external interference and hints at economic retaliation. Some neighbors urge negotiation, worried about regional instability. Diplomats shuttle between capitals, seeking a path to development without conflict. The Philippines finds itself at the center of global attention, admired, courted, and watched with hope and concern. The gas discovery marks a new chapter for the Philippines. The chance for energy independence, jobs, and lasting growth is real, but so are the dangers of conflict and environmental harm. The government faces a delicate balancing act, securing the resource, sharing its benefits, and protecting peace. Civil society keeps watch, demanding transparency and fairness. Scientists and engineers work to ensure the highest standards. The military stands ready, but the nation prays for a future where power comes not from might, but from justice and cooperation. The world too must help, supporting the rule of law, investing in peaceful development, and respecting the rights of all nations, big and small. The lesson is clear: prosperity means little unless it is built on dignity, unity, and peace. As the sun rises over the islands, the Philippines stands at a crossroads. The promise of the deep sea is great, but greater still is the resolve of a people determined to turn hope into reality. Wisely, bravely, and together.